The sky above Earth's military spaceport was cloudy and gray. A cold wind blew over the landing pads as Captain Rhea Carter stepped off the shuttle. Her boots hit the metal ground with a loud clank. She looked around. Other crews were smiling, cheering, hugging. They were getting powerful ships. Ships with names like Thunderfang, Solar Wrath, or Victory's Light. But not her team. Behind her, 8 other humans followed in silence. No one spoke. Everyone had read the assignment. They were not getting a strong ship, not even an average one. They were getting the worst ship in the entire Earth Alliance fleet, a rusted, half-broken monster called the Hopebreaker. An officer with bright alien green skin met them at the gate. He didn't hide his smirk. "Welcome, humans," he said. "Here's your ship." He turned and pointed. The crew looked up, pan froze. The Hopebreaker looked like it had been pulled out of a trash dump. Parts of the hull were missing. The engines were leaking smoke. The outer metal had black burn marks, and 2 broken antennas hung loose like broken arms. "It's a joke," one of the crew whispered. "Is this even safe?" Another muttered. Rhea stepped forward and stared hard at the ship. Her eyes were sharp, but her voice stayed calm. "This is our ship now," she said. "We don't complain. We work." Some crew members looked at her like she was crazy, but others straightened their backs. No one in the Earth Alliance gave humans respect. Maybe this was their chance to earn it. They entered the Hopebreaker. Inside it was even worse. The lights flickered. The air smelled like rust and dead wires. Dust floated in the halls. Some doors didn't open at all. Others sparked when touched. Lieutenant Marco tapped on the wall. "Feels like this place will fall apart any second," he said. The crew began exploring. The bridge had cracked screens and burned consoles. The sleeping quarters were dirty and cold. The engine room was a maze of melted wires and broken panels. "Everything is offline," said Engineer Seri, "even the water system." But Rhea didn't give up. She rolled up her sleeves and opened a panel. "Then we fix it," she said. The crew got to work. They cleaned the rooms, replaced damaged wires, and restarted small systems. It took hours just to get the light stable. It was hard, dirty work, but something strange started to happen. The ship responded. Old doors began working again. Hidden lights turned on, like the ship was waking up after a long sleep. In the engine room, strange symbols appeared on the walls. Symbols no one recognized. Seri found something behind a sealed hatch. It looked like an alien, core-glowing, humming ancient captain. She said, "This ship has tech I've never seen. This isn't normal Earth or Alliance stuff." Rhea walked over and stared at the strange engine. "Don't tell Command," she said. "Not yet. We don't know what this ship really is." That night, the crew sat together in the dining area. The heater barely worked, and they ate cold rations. But for the first time, they laughed. Even on this broken ship, something was changing. "This thing might have a soul," Marco said with a grin. But outside, in the dark corners of space, others were watching. From a command station high above the planet, a group of alien officers stared at the Hopebreaker's camera feed. "Why are the humans working so hard on that junk?" asked one. "They don't know what they're sitting on," another replied. "That ship isn't just old, it's dangerous." Back on the Hopebreaker, Rhea stood alone on the bridge, looking out into the stars. The glass window was scratched, but she could still see the lights of faraway planets. She placed her hand on the console. "I don't know what secrets you're hiding," she whispered to the ship, "but we'll find out together." Suddenly, the lights flickered, and for one brief second, a symbol flashed across the main screen. Not Earth tech, not Alliance. It was something else, something old, something powerful. The screen went dark again. Rhea stared. "What was that?" she said quietly. The Hopebreaker was quiet, too quiet. At 2:17 ship time, Engineer Seri woke up suddenly. Her cabin was dark, but she felt something like a low vibration through the floor, faint, steady, almost like a heartbeat. She put on her boots and walked to the engine room. "Probably another short circuit," she mumbled. But when she opened the engine bay doors, she froze. The strange alien core glowing blue and silent before was now pulsing slowly, like it was breathing. She stepped closer. The core made no sound, but lights flickered in a rhythm. Not random, not broken. It felt alive. "Captain, you need to see this," Seri whispered into her come. Within minutes, Captain Rhea and the others gathered in the engine room. No one spoke for a while. They just stared. The symbols on the walls, known alien letters, were moving now. rearranging themselves. Is this ship turning on? Marco asked, stunned. I think, Seri said, we've woken something up. A sharp flash of light blinked across the room. Everyone flinched. Suddenly, an interface screen appeared floating in the air. Not built, not projected, just appearing. The screen showed a map, not of Earth's space, not even of known alliance zones. It was older, wilder, filled with unknown stars and red zones marked with warnings in an alien language. Where did this map come from? Asked Ensign Talia. It came from the ship, Rhea said softly, but it's not ours, and not Alliance. This is something else. Then something even stranger happened. The screen split, and a voice echoed through the room. It was not human, not alien either. It was low, cold, mechanical, but not dead. It felt like it came from deep inside the ship itself. Power systems restored. Core cycle active. Archive memory path unlocked. Everyone went silent. What is Archive? Asked Marco. I've seen that word before, Seri said slowly. Old records, the Archive were a myth, a super race. They ruled the stars thousands of years ago, then disappeared. They didn't disappear, Rhea said, eyes fixed on the glowing core. They left this behind. 3 hours later, the team worked fast. Whatever they had found, it was now awake. Seri and Talia began scanning the systems. New doors opened by themselves. Hidden weapons came online more advanced than anything humans or the Alliance had. It's like this ship is changing, Seri whispered. Rhea ordered secrecy. No one was to tell command. Not yet. If they found out the Hopebreaker had Archotech they would take the ship away on, probably erase the crew. We earned this ship, she said. No one's taking it. Meanwhile, on the Alliance flagship, Pelian officers were reviewing footage from the Hopebreaker. One of them, Commander Virak, narrowed his eyes. That ship should be non-functional, he said. Humans fixed it somehow. Another replied. They didn't just fix it, Virak growled. They activated it. That ship is waking up. A silent alarm blinked red on their screen. Unauthorized signal detected. From human vessel Hopebreaker, they traced it. A ping, a map update. A flash of the Archive language, Virak slammed his fist down. Send orders. Track that ship. If it leaves orbit, we intercept. Back on the Hopebreaker, Rhea sat on the bridge, staring at the floating map again. It showed a planet, far away, marked in glowing red. Seri translated as best she could. It says, Last beacon of the Archive. Do not enter. So it's a warning, Rhea said. Talia shook her head. It's a message for the right person to follow. Suddenly, the ship made a sound deep and soft, like a hum inside their bones. The star map zoomed in. The route lit up. The ship wanted to go. Captain Marco said, nervous. This doesn't feel like a normal mission anymore. It's not, Rhea answered. But I think this is why we were given this ship. At 6:45 ship time, without warning, the Hopebreaker's engines powered up on their own. The crew jumped to their stations. But instead of crashing, the ship gently hovered above the spaceport. From outside, cameras showed it rising like a ghost. Lights glowing faint blue. Engines no longer coughing but smooth, silent, powerful. Command sent a message. Return to dock. Immediate recall. Rhea looked at the message. She turned it off. Set course, she said. Follow the map. And just like that, the Hopebreaker, the worst ship ever given to humans, left. Orbit on a mission no one could explain. Not even the crew, but one thing was now clear. This ship wasn't just a piece of junk. It was something the galaxy had forgotten, and it had just woken up. The stars looked calm, but something was wrong. The Hopebreaker floated silently in deep space, its lights dimmed, watching a strange message flash on the screen. It was a distress signal, faint, repeating, coming from a place no one ever visited. Dead Zone 13, a dark, lifeless region between two star systems. Known for missing ships, hundreds had entered. It's a trap, Captain. Everyone knows about Dead Zone 13 command. Banned all missions there. But we're not under command anymore, Rhea said quietly. And if someone's alive in there, Seri interrupted. Captain, listen to this part of the signal. I cleaned up the noise. It says, there, watching us. It wasn't an accident. The bridge went silent. No one knew who they were, but Rhea made her decision. We go in. If it's a trap, we break it. Like someone turned off the lights in space. The crew looked through the windows, but only darkness stared back. Even the sensors stopped working. The ship was blind. "We've lost all outside readings," Talia reported. "No signals. No comms. Nothing but the distress beacon," Seri added. "Keep moving," Rhea said. Then they saw it. A giant graveyard. Hundreds of broken ships floated silently. Some were alien, some human. All torn apart, melted, crushed, split in half. Marco whispered, "Now I believe the stories." But something didn't feel right. "These ships didn't just crash," Seri said. "They were attacked." Suddenly, boom, flash of light lit up space behind them. Energy beams. A surprise attack, shields up. Rhea shouted. The crew scrambled. Enemy ships, black, sleek. The Hopebreaker shook as it took a hit, but the ship responded without warning. The strange alien core glowed bright blue. The ship moved faster, dodging attacks with impossible speed. "Are we doing that?" Marco asked. "No," Seri said. "The ship, it's flying itself." The crew watched in shock as the Hopebreaker flipped, twisted. Voice echoed again from deep within the ship. "Defense mode. Archive pattern alpha." Suddenly, hidden weapons unfolded. From the hull, the kind no one had ever seen before, Rhea clenched her fists. "We're not running," she gave the order. "Attack!" And the Hopebreaker unleashed its full power. Minutes later, the battle ended. The black enemy ships were gunboat, broken, floating like the rest of the dead. But something was left behind. A small escape pod the distress signal was coming from. Inside, Rhea and Seri suited up and brought it aboard. Inside was a young alien woman barely conscious. She had deep wounds and bruises. She opened her eyes, saw the humans, and whispered, "You have the Archive ship." Before they could ask questions, she passed out. Rhea looked at her crew. She knew what this ship was, she said, and someone wanted her silenced. Later, in the medbay, scanned the alien girl's body. She's not from the Alliance. Her DNA is from a lost colony, maybe even Partarkai. She knew the ship, Rhea repeated. That means the enemy we just fought knew it too. Marco looked uneasy. "We just poked a hornet's nest, didn't we?" Rhea nodded. "Yes, and now they know humans are flying this ship." Everyone went quiet, far from Earth, in a dark part of the galaxy. Glowing faint blue, its hull scarred but stronger than ever. No one expected it to return, especially not the alien commanders of the Earth Alliance. At Central, officers stared at the footage from spy drones. "They defeated the Reapers," whispered one. "Impossible," said another. "And yet," said Commander Virak, narrowing his yellow eyes, "the humans survived." On that ship, he zoomed in on the footage on the human vessel, the Hopebreaker. "It's not just a ship anymore," he growled. "It's something more." Back on the Hopebreaker stood beside the medpod where the alien girl rested. She hadn't woken up since they rescued her, but her wounds were healing fast, faster than normal. Seri walked in, holding a scanner. "Captain, there's something you need to know," she said. "What is it?" "This girl, she has Archive DNA. Not full, maybe part human, part Archive. But her body responds to this ship." Rhea looked at the girl again. She called this an Archive ship before she passed out. "I think she was right," Seri added. "We haven't just woken an old warship. We've taken control of something sacred." Meanwhile, on the outer decks, the crew moved through the ship more confidently now. Doors no longer jammed. Lights guided them silently. Even the food systems once dead were preparing meals on their own. "The ship is learning from us," Talia said during lunch. "It adapts." "But to what end?" Marco asked. "Is it protecting us? Or using us?" They all glanced around. As if the ship could hear, maybe it could. Across the galaxy, whispers spread the story of the Hopebreaker. Spread fast, first, among humans. Then, secretly, among aliens. They said a human crew had taken the worst ship in the fleet and returned. From the dead zone alive, some laughed. Some were afraid in quiet corners of space stations. Officers whispered over drinks. "They say the ship is Archive. They say it moves on its own." At an elite alien academy, a young cadet overheard a senior general say, "If the humans control Archive tech, it changes everything." 2. CAPT. Rhea Carter, from Earth Alliance Command. Your ship is to return immediately. Stand down and prepare for inspection. This is not a request. Reason. Unauthorized engagement in restricted sectors, suspicion of alien tech possession, failure to comply will be treated as treason. The crew read the message in silence. Marco looked at Rhea. Are we going back? Rhea shook her head slowly. No. If we return, they'll take the ship. Lock us away. We haven't done anything wrong, but they're scared. Then what do we do? The crew nodded. They were no longer a joke, no longer the broken crew on a dead ship. They were becoming something new. The Archai girl wakes in the medbay. The girl's eyes opened. Rhea rushed in. Can you hear me? She asked gently. The girl blinked slowly. You are not Archai, but the ship obeys you. We saved you from the Reapers, Rhea said. What were they doing in Dead Zone 13? The girl sat up slowly. Her voice was weak but steady. They guard the Archai ruins. They destroy anything that gets close. Came until they betrayed us. Rhea's face hardened, so the Alliance knew. Kira nodded. Hours later, a new Discovery Shuri brought Rhea to the engine room. You need to see this. The Archai core had shifted. Now it showed new data, a secret star system unmarked on any known map. Kira looked at it and whispered, that is where the Archai placed their last vault, a place of great power. No one who entered ever returned. Then we go there, Rhea said. Talia looked unsure. Captain, we're being hunted. We've always been hunted, Rhea replied. Now, we finally have teeth. That's enough. A masked alien general across the table nodded. Give us permission and we will destroy the ship. Firak paused. If they survive the vault, it will be too late. Do it. Back on the Hope Rakaras, the stars stretched into long lines, and the ship jumped to faster-than-light speed. The crew felt it again, that strange hum through the floor, like a living thing preparing for war. They were no longer just passengers. They were chosen, and soon the galaxy would learn what humans could become when given the power no one wanted them to have. Changing. Not just its systems, not just its speed, but something deeper. Captain Rhea stood alone on the bridge. The stars outside looked calm, but her heart was not. She stared at the glowing Archai map on the screen. It showed their destination, a secret vault hidden for thousands of years, where the last knowledge of the Archai was kept. Only one message was written beneath the coordinates. Not all who enter awaken. Not all who awaken return. Suddenly, ship slowed down, without anyone touching controls. Alarms didn't sound. There was no warning, but the Hopebreaker had arrived. Before them floated a dead planet, cold, gray, cracked like old stone. No life, no cities, but above it, a single black ring hovered in space. It wasn't spinning, it wasn't moving, it was waiting. Rhea stepped closer to the window. That's not a gate, she said. It's a test. Inside the ship, Seri ran diagnostics. All systems are fine, she said, but something weird's happening to the ship's AI. It's processing millions of codes per second, like it's trying to talk. To who? Asked Marco. To whatever built that ring. Suddenly, darkness. The ship went black. Every light, every screen gone. Even gravity failed for 5 long seconds. The crew floated silently in the dark. Then, with a low hum, the lights returned, but now they were blue, deep blue. Like water, and in front of the bridge, window floating outside the ships, stood a figure made of pure light. It had no face, no mouth, no eyes, but somehow it spoke into their minds. You have entered the Archai core path. You are not Archai, and yet the ship listens to you. Why? No one could move. The voice wasn't cold, but it was heavy. Ancient. Kira stepped forward, breathing hard. I am Archai blood, she said aloud. The ship remembers us. The figure turned its glowing head toward her. Yes, half-blood. Memory line confirmed. Then the voice focused on Rhea, but she commands the ship. She leads. I don't command it, Rhea replied. I work with it. I protect my crew. I protect this ship. You speak as Archai once did. Then prove your worth. The planet below lit up. A giant circle on its surface opened a gate leading down into the vault. If you are Weggy, awaken the full power. And with that, landing inside a massive underground structure built of black stone and glowing metal. The crew walked carefully through long corridors. The walls were covered with Archai writing, moving on their own. like water flowing across glass. Then they reached it. The core chamber, in the center, stood a machine as tall as a building, spinning, glowing, whispering in a voice only the ship seemed to understand. "This is it," Kira said. "The Archive mainframe. What does it do?" Marco asked. Seri walked up to the interface. Everything. Planets, wars, love, death. Then all the lights rushed into the ship's core. The Hopebreaker, shuddered and came. Alive Archive systems, fully restored, weapons unlocked, shields upgraded, speed tripled. AI merged with organic response tech and something else. The ship could now think and speak. A new voice filled the bridge. Soft, calm, female. "Captain Rhea Carter. I am the Hopebreaker. I am awake." Back on the bridge, the ship felt different. Now, stronger, faster, smarter. Talia whispered, "We just woke a sleeping god." But Rhea was calm. "Then let's teach it how to be human." The ship chuckled softly. Not a sound, but a pulse of warmth through the walls. "I like that." Far away in the darkness, the Alliance war fleet got the message. A signal bright, clear from the Vault planet, Commander Virak read it out loud. "Archive mainframe activated. Human signature verified." He crushed the datapad in his claws. "They've done it. They've bonded with the ship." Another officer stepped forward. "What now?" Virak's eyes glowed. "Now we burn them. Before the whole galaxy kneels to them." Back on the Hopebreaker crew stood together, stronger than ever. Weren't just flying a ship, they were part of it now. And somewhere out there, enemies were preparing. But this time, humanity wasn't afraid, because now they had the Archive's final gift, and it had a name: Hopebreaker. A strange silence filled the bridge of the Hopebreaker. The ship was no longer just metal and wires. It was alive. It spoke with them. It listened, and now it had a new destination. Coordinates appeared on the main screen. A blinking red dot. Captain Rhea narrowed her eyes. "That's not from the Archive map," she said. "Where did this come from?" "It is marked as forbidden. But now that I am awake, the path is open." Kira stood behind her, nervous. The Archive locked that planet for a reason. It was their last experiment, the one that failed. "What was the experiment?" Seri asked. The ship replied. "They tried to create life greater than their own. It grew. Wrong." A cold feeling passed through the crew. Marco spoke quietly. "So why are we going there?" Rhea answered. "For all of them. Because something is pulling us there, and I need to know what it is." Out of warp, near a black and red planet. It didn't spin. It didn't reflect light. It looked dead. But the ship's sensors showed something else. Massive power readings, life signs, but not stable. The planet had no satellites, no space stations, no defenses. But no other ships had ever returned from this place. "Let's not go down," Marco said. "Let's fire a probe. Check it out from up here." "Agreed," Seri added. "That planet feels wrong." But Rhea shook her head. "We came this far. We finish it." The ship opened its landing gears. Touchdown in 60 seconds. The Forbidden World, surfaced the Hopebreaker, landed gently in the middle of a dead city. The buildings were tall but broken. Cracks in the towers, strange symbols carved into the black stone. No wind, no animals. Just a low hum in the air like the planet was whispering. The crew stepped out in suits. Even the air felt thick. Heavy Dot, Kira walked slowly. Talia asked. Kira didn't answer. They found the first body, not human, not alien. Tall, gray, long arms. No eyes. Twisted. Burned. Dead. All around it were markings that looked like warnings. Seri scanned the body. "This creature, it's not in any database. Not natural, genetically made." Kira finally spoke. This was the Archive's final project. A new race, designed to be perfect, but they grew too fast. They wanted power, control. They turned on their creators and killed them. Marco asked. Kira nodded. This planet was their prison. Now fully connected to the Archive system, sent a signal. The door opened. Inside, darkness. Ness, and something breathing. Soft. Deep, slow. Rhea raised her weapon. Stay sharp. The crew moved in. Then it stepped forward. A massive figure, 10 feet tall, glowing veins under its skin. A face like stone, but eyes human. It looked at them and smiled. "You are not Archive. it said in a low voice. But you came with her, Rhea asked. The creature pointed upward to the Hopebreaker, glowing faintly above the ruins. The last Archai mind. Trapped in that machine, it said. You woke her. Rhea held her ground. Who are you? The creature's smile faded. I am the first. The Archai called me a mistake, but I am their truth. It raised its hand and the ground shook all. Around the chamber, more creatures began waking. Hundreds, thousands, all asleep for centuries. Now rising, Rhea turned to her crew. Back to the ship. Now, back aboard the Hope-Rekorth crew, ran aboard. The ship's AI locked the hatch instantly. Unknown life forms surrounding the structure. Defense systems ready, Rhea shouted. Lift off. Get us out of here. The engines roared, but the ground cracked. Tentacles of black energy rose from the planet's surface, grabbing at the ship. Warning, energy grip detected. Countermeasures engaged. The ship fired. Plasma cannons melted the tendrils, but more came. The Hopebreaker shuddered under the pressure. We need more power, Seri yelled. I'm already giving you everything. The ship replied. Unless what? Rhea asked. Unless I use my core. Fully. That will kill you, Kira said. No, the ship replied softly. It will change me. The Hopebreaker drifted quietly through deep space. No lights, no sound, just the stars shining cold outside. Captain Rhea sat alone in the command chair, staring at the dark screen. Behind her, the crew worked in silence. They were safe, but not the same dot they had seen, the forbidden world. They had awakened something terrible, and now they knew. It would come, but before that happened, they needed help. Real help. And that meant reaching out to someone they didn't trust. A mysterious signal. Suddenly, a blinking light flashed across the console. Marco rushed to the front. Incoming signal, it's from the Zarkith Alliance. Kira looked up quickly. That's strange. They haven't spoken to humans in years. Rhea frowned. Open the channel. The screen lit up hand showed a familiar face. Admiral Kraxis was tall, lizard-skinned, with glowing orange eyes and silver armor. A leader of the Zarkith one, of the strongest alien empires in the galaxy. Humans, he said, smiling coldly. We sensed your presence near the forbidden world. You touched things you should not have. Rhea stood up. You know what's happening? We saw them. We woke them. They're coming. Kraxis nodded. Yes, the Archai's creations. The first ones, even we fear them, Seri whispered. Then help us. Kraxis paused. Meet us at Starpoint 6. We will talk. In person. The screen turned black. Starpoint 6. The setup. The crew arrived at Starpoint 6. Massive space station floating near a red dwarf star. It was old, cold, and half-dash broken. Too quiet. Rhea didn't like it. This doesn't feel like a meeting, she said. Still, they docked the Hopebreaker and entered the station. Inside, alien guards watched them closely. The air smelled like metal and oil. They were led into a large hall where Admiral Kraxis waited with 2 more Zarkath generals. Welcome, he said. We believe you carry something dangerous. Rhea nodded. The Hopebreaker is now part Archai. It has knowledge. And we saw what's buried on that planet. Kraxis stared at her. And yet you live? Marco raised an eyebrow. Is that a problem? Kraxis smiled again. No, it is a gift. The betrayal begins suddenly. The door slammed shut. The lights went red. Rhea pulled her weapon. What is this? Guards raised their rifles. Kraxis stepped forward. The galaxy doesn't need humans playing with ancient power. You woke a god. Now we will take your ship and your minds. You tricked us, Kira growled. Kraxis laughed. You brought yourselves here. We just gave you the final push. Suddenly, a voice echoed in their earpieces. Captain, I've hacked the station's security. Give the word. It was Hopebreaker. Rhea smiled slightly. Now the hallway lights blinked and the floor exploded. Gas poured in. Doors unlocked. Chaos erupted. The Hopebreaker had taken control. The crew moved fast, fighting through stunned Zarkith guards. Seri hacked a console and opened an escape route. They ran. Blasters fired behind them. Kira tossed a flash grenade. Move. Escape 2. The Hopebreaker's crew jumped through the docking gate just in time, sealed the airlock. Rhea yelled. The ship pulled away from Starpoint 6. Zarkith ships tried to block them, but But the Hopebreaker was to fest its new Archive core, blazing with power. Laser fire lit up space, but no one could catch them. They vanished into warp. Back in deep space, the crew sat in silence. Another betrayal, another enemy. Seri looked angry. We trusted them. We thought someone would help. They don't want to help, Kira said softly. They want power, just like the Archive once did. Rhea stared at the stars. No one's coming, she said. We're alone now. Then the ship spoke again. Not alone. I have found something. Another Archive signal. But it is not from the past. It is calling for help. Everyone turned toward the screen. Kira's eyes widened. Wait, you mean there's an Archive still alive? The crew of the Hopebreaker stood silently around the main screen, floating in space. Far from any known system was a signal. It pulsed slowly like a heartbeat, but alive, not from a machine, not from a ship. This was something else. Are you sure it's an Archive? Rhea asked, eyes narrowed. The ship responded. Yes, it is not a recording. It is a living signal. An Archive is calling out. Asking for help. Marco leaned forward. But the Archive are all gone. They vanished 1,000 years ago. Kira shook her head. Not all of them. A dying star. A hidden world. The coordinates led them to a dying star. Dark, broken, but around it spun a shattered planet covered in ash dot. The Hopebreaker slowed as it approached. No cities, no lights, just ruin and deep below the surface. The signal. Rhea looked at the crew. This could be a trap, but we need answers. And if there's really an Archive down there, Seri finished the thought, then maybe he knows how to stop what's coming. They prepared for landing. The surface was cold and silent. Black dust covered everything. No wind, no sound, only silence. The voice in the dark. The team moved carefully through the ruins. Weapons ready, they followed the signal into a deep underground temple, half buried in the rock. Old symbols glowed faintly on the walls. Then they found him. A large figure sat inside a metal chamber, connected to wires and glowing crystals. He looked like a man, but taller, older, and his skin shimmered like glass. He opened his eyes. You are human, he said quietly. I never thought I would see your kind again. Are you Archive? Rhea asked. He nodded slowly. My name is Saloon. I am the last. Saloon's warning saloon stood with difficulty. He had been asleep for centuries. He looked at the crew with tired eyes. I was part of the team that built the Forbidden World. We thought we could create life. Control it. But we made something far worse. Rhea asked. The first ones, Solowan nodded. They were never supposed to wake. We sealed them. We erased the coordinates. We vanished. Seri asked. But why are they waking now? Salowan stared at her. Because someone is trying to open the vault again. The crew went silent. Marco said, the Zarketh. Solowan frowned. No, worse. A being older than them. One who betrayed us all. A hidden Inima Saloon moved toward a wall and touched it. A hologram appeared, an image of a shadowy figure. It wasn't human. It wasn't Archive. It was tall, dark, with red eyes and long arms that touched the ground. It looked like it was made of smoke and bone. This, Saloon said, is Varnock. He was one of the first Archive, but he wanted more. He believed the first ones were gods. He wanted to free them. We stopped him once, but now he is returning. Rhea clenched her fists. He wants to finish what he started. New Alliance Saloon walked to the center of the chamber. I cannot stop him alone, but I can give you something. My mind, my knowledge. I will join your ship. I will become part of the Hopebreaker. The crew looked at each other in shock. Are you sure? Kira asked. Solowan smiled faintly. I am already dying, but if I help you, I live through your fight. Rhea nodded. Then, let's do it, Hopebreaker. Awakens further, they returned to the ship. Solowan's mind was uploaded into the Hopebreaker's systems. The lights glowed brighter. The ship spoke with a new voice, deeper. Wiser, I see now, it said. I see all of it. Varnock is near, and he is searching for the vault key. Kira asked, what is the vault key? The ship answered, it's not a weapon. It's not a machine. The vault key is a child. Everyone froze. Seri whispered, what? Rhea stood still, heart pounding, and she is already on board. The ship was silent. No one spoke. Everyone stared at the young girl sitting near. The back of the command room, .suri, the Hopebreaker's voice echoed again through the ship. The vault key is not a device. It is a living being. It is her. Rhea stepped forward slowly. Are you sure? The ship replied calmly. Yes, Soluin's memory confirms it. Her DNA, her presence. Even the archive code inside her cells. She is the key. Seri looked shocked. I don't understand. I'm just an engineer. I fix engines. Soluin's voice came next, low and warm. You were never just that child. You were hidden, protected, until the time was right. A secret pastria sat beside Seri. You were found in a stasis pod, remember? Sealed in a wreckage floating near Mars. We thought you were a survivor. Seri nodded slowly, but there was no memory, just fragments. I thought I was lucky to be alive, Kira added. We checked your blood once. It showed some strange markers, but we ignored it. We thought it was just space radiation, Soluan explained. The Archai placed the vault key in stasis. Far from the Forbidden World, they knew Varnock would return one day. They chose a human form to hide her from the old machines and watchers. Marco asked, but what does the vault key do? Soluan paused. She doesn't open the vault. She controls what comes out of it. The real enemy comes. The ship shook suddenly. An alarm echoed across the bridge. Enemy ship approaching. It's not Zarkith. It's him. Outside, space twisted. A long black ship appeared. It looked like a shadow with wings, gliding without sound. Red lights burned on its sides. It was Varnock's ship. Inside the Hopebreaker, tension rose. Seri backed away. He's come for me. Rhea stood. He won't take you. We protect our own. The Hopebreaker spoke again. You must run. He is not here to fight. He is here to claim her. A race through the storm engines roared to life. The Hopebreaker shot away at full speed. Behind them, Varnock's ship followed, silent. Patient, they entered a system full of collapsing stars, dangerous, unstable, perfect for hiding. Inside the ship, Soluin worked quickly, uploading ancient shields and defense codes. The crew moved with urgency. Seri was taken to the vault room, a hidden chamber at the ship's core, now glowing with light. The room responded to her presence. The floor lit up as she stepped inside. Soluin's voice came again. Her power is waking, but she does not know how to use it yet. Visions of the vault inside the glowing chamber. Seri collapsed. Her mind was flooded with images, a giant gate deep in space. Huge, black, and covered in symbols. Behind it, voices, screams, whispers, the first ones. And in front of the gate, Varnock waiting. She saw him turn. He smiled. He could see her. She screamed. Suddenly, Rhea pulled her back to the present. You're okay, she said. You were dreaming. Suri's eyes were full of fear. He's going to open the vault. He wants to use me to control them. The Hopebreaker entered a dead system. No light, only black dust and cold silence. At its center floated a ruined planet. It had no name, no map showed it, but every species feared it. This was the Forbidden World. Rhea stood on the bridge. Her eyes stared ahead. This is it, she said, the place where it all began. The ship's voice spoke low. No ship has entered this orbit in over 50,000 years. We are the first since the fall of the first ones. A sky full of ghosts as the Hopebreaker moved closer. Ancient defense systems awoke. Laser towers rose from broken mountains. Satellites blinked to life. The sky lit with deadly lights, but the ship had Soluin's codes now. He uploaded the ancient signal. The weapons paused, then powered down. A path opened. The crew moved quickly. Rhea, Seri, Kira, Markowal wore old armor stitched with patches. No one looked like heroes, but they felt ready. Seri held a glowing crystal. It pulsed in her hand, warm and alive. It was part of her now, the vault key. Landing on the Forbidden World, they landed near a massive gate built into a mountain. It was not made of stone or metal. It looked like it was made of time itself. The symbols moved, changing every second. Seri stepped forward. The gate recognized her. It opened. A deep wind blew out cold, full of voices inside. Darkness waited. The crew entered the vault. Inside the vault, they walked through endless halls. Walls whispered ancient memories, visions of stars being born. Galaxy's ending, monsters screaming, and in the center, on a tall throne of bones, sat Varnok. He was waiting. His voice was soft, but full of power. So, the little human key finally arrives. Rhea stepped in front of Seri. Yours, Varnok smiled, but she is not yours either. She is something more, a piece of the first one's, and only she can command what lies behind that final door. Behind him, a second gate pulse giant, alive and angry. The real vault. From it came distant roars. The old ones were waking. The final stand. Varnok raised his hand. Dark energy shot forward. Marco jumped in front and was thrown across the room. Kira fired her plasma rifle. It barely scratched Varnok's skin. Rhea charged with her blade, but nothing stopped him. He laughed. Seri screamed. Stop. The vault glowed brighter. Suddenly everything froze. Seri floated into the air. Her eyes turned white. The key was active. She saw everything. The first one's the fall, Varnok's betrayal, the vault's hunger. She looked at Varnok. You don't want to control them? You want to be them? He smiled. Exactly, Seri whispered. Then you'll join them. She pointed at him. The vault opened, fully just enough. A dark hand reached out. It grabbed Varnok. He screamed but could not escape. The vault pulled him inside. Then Seri turned to the gate and spoke the final words, lock, seal, sleep. The vault closed, forever hope. Reborn. The crew woke up outside. The Hopebreaker was waiting. The forbidden world was quiet. No more voices, no more fear. Seri stepped down the ramp. She was alive, but changed. Rhea hugged her. You did it, she said. Seri smiled. We did. Above them, the stars were brighter. The galaxy would sleep easier now, and the Hopebreaker, once the worst ship, was now legend. A human ship, a junk ship, a ship that saved the galaxy.